Okay, guys. So today we're going to talk about linear equation with fractions and decimals. This is section 10.3. So first what I'm going to do, I'm going to write down steps of solving fractional equations. Okay, so step number 1 is look at denominators of all fractions and find LCM. Again, LCM is lowest common multiple. Sometimes they also call that LCD. So let me just write down because you can hear that. Call it also LCD, which is least common, lowest common denominator. So they both means the same thing. Number 2, multiply both sides of the equation by LCM after you find it. Step 3 will be distribute the LCM over both sides of equation. Okay, and step 4, the equation, if you did that correctly, the equation no longer have fractions. That's how you're going to know if you're solving them correctly. And you can continue solving the simplify equation by using basic procedures. For solving equations. Which means combine like terms, move your variable to the left side, move the other terms to the right side, and isolate your variable. And number 5, check your solution. Okay, so there's 5 steps how to solve the equations with fractions, and let's do some of the examples. So let's do examples. Example 1, solving linear equations with fractions. So the idea is to remove fractions to simplify to the equation which doesn't have fractions anymore, and we know how to solve those type of equations. So we have 3 over 4x minus 21 over 6 equal 5 over 6. Okay, so I'm going back. Step number 1 is look at the denominator of all fractions to find LCM. Okay, so in the denominator we have 4, 6, and 6. So what we're going to do, we want to find LCM, which is lower common multiple of 4 and 6, since 6 repeat twice. So we're thinking about the lowest number, which can divide 4 and 6. So LCM will be 12. 12 can divide 4 and 12 can divide 6. So when we find that LCM, next what we're going to do, we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by LCM. So like you see, this is the LCM. And in parentheses, I copied our original equation, which is 3 over 4x minus 21 over 6 equal, and I multiply the right side of the equation by LCM, which is 12, times, and I copy the right side of the equation, which is 5 over 6. You technically don't need parentheses, I just want to get you guys used to having parentheses, because next when you have LCM, what you're going to do, you're going to apply the distribution property. So you're going to multiply 12 by both. So we have, again, let's just review, number multiplied by fraction, you only multiply numerator of the fraction by 12. So we have 12 times 3 over 4x, and again 12 times negative 21 over 6, that will be negative, so I'm just going to put negative 12 times 21 over 6. Okay, so number multiplied by fraction, multiply on only numerator. Equal, the same thing, you multiply 5 by 12, so we have 12 times 5 over 6. When you have that, next what you want to do, you want to reduce your fractions. So 12 divided by 4 will give you 3. So we have 3 times 3, which is 9x, minus 12 divided by 6 will give you 2. So you have 2 times 21, which is 42, equal 12 divided by 6, it's 2. 2 times 5 will give us 10. So now we have a nice simple equation, which we call equivalent equation. So we know how to solve those equations. You need to move number to the right side. Since you see negative 42, you're going to add 42 to both sides. So we always use the opposite. Here we cancel. So we end up with 9x equal 10 plus 42, which is 52. And the last step will be you need to solve for x. So opposite of multiplication is division. We're going to divide both sides of the equation by 9. And we have x equal 52 over 9. And I'm going to keep that solution that way, as improper fraction. So from equation with fractions, if you find that LCM and you distribute that LCM correctly, you always will end up with the equation without fractions. So if you're still having fractions, so don't continue solving, go back, check your work, probably you have an error, so you want to fix it. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more examples. B, I'm going to do something more advanced. So you have 3 over 4x minus half equal 1/3 times 3 over 4x plus 6 minus 7 over 2. Okay, so the same idea here. First, what you're going to do, don't distribute, don't even start multiplying by fraction. Always work with the steps which I gave you. So look at denominators and you want to find LCM, okay, lowest common multiple. So in B, the denominators are 4, 2, 3, and of course you have 4 again and 2. Okay, so what we need to do, first we need to find lowest common multiple of the numbers which you see in denominator, which is 4, 2, 3. I'm not going to put that 4 again. And I'm not going to copy that 2 again since I have it. So think about the lowest number which can divide each of them, 4, 2, and 3. So lowest common multiple of those three numbers is 12. 12 can divide 4, 12 can divide 2, and 12 can divide 3. So next what we're going to do, I'm moving to step number 2. I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by LCM. So that's what I'm going to do. LCM is 12. So I multiply both sides of the equation by 12. And again, I copy the original left side of the equation in the parenthesis. Okay. So we have 3 over 4x minus half equal. And I'm doing the same thing on the right side. LCM it's 12. So 12 times. And I copy the right side of the equation. Okay. So I have 12 times 1 over 3 times 3 over 4 x plus 6 minus 7 over 2. Okay, so I have it. Right side looks a little more complicated. We'll simplify it in a second. Let's simplify the left side. You're going to multiply 12 by 3 over 4. So that will be 12 times 3, everything over 4x. Okay, so only numerator multiply by 12. And I will do the same thing with 1/2. 12 times negative 1/2, since 12 times negative number will give me negative solution. So I'll put minus, and that will be 12 times 1 over 2. Okay, so only numerator. Now on the right side, let's simplify. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that 12. And first what I'm going to do, I'm going to simplify this part. I'm going to simplify those parentheses first, okay? So, 1/3 you need to multiply by 3 over 4. So here we're reviewing how to multiply fraction by fraction. When you multiply fraction by fraction, you multiply numerators together and denominators together. So you have 3 times 4. And x you put it in the middle. Okay? Plus, and then you have 1/3 times 6, which is the same as 6 times 1/3. So what you're going to do, again, I will put it that way, you're going to multiply 6 by 1 and copy the denominator, because here we have number multiplied by fraction. And then I copy that minus 7 over 2. So I need extra parenthesis right here. Okay? So again, I didn't touch that 12 yet. What I did, I distribute 1/3 to the expression which I have in the parenthesis, and I copy that 7 over 2. Okay, let's simplify the left side. So 12 divided by 4 will give you 3. 3 times 3, we're having 9x. 12 divided by 2 will give you 6. So 6 times 1 is 6. So we have minus 6 equal. I copy that 12. First, I want to simplify that mess in a big bracket. So look what happened. 3 and 3 cancel. So we end up with 1 over 4x plus 6 divided by 3 will give you 2. So 2 times 1 is 2. And then since I simplified this parenthesis right here, So you don't need that parenthesis because we simplify, just going to copy minus 7 over 2. Okay, so let's copy the left side. Since we simplify, there is nothing else what we can do. Here what I'm going to do, I'm going to distribute 12 to each. Okay, so 12 times 1 over 4 x plus 12 times 2, and 12 times negative will give me negative, so minus 12 times 7 over 2. Okay, so number multiplied by fraction, multiply only numerator. So let's simplify the right side. 12 divided by 4 will give you 3. 3 times 1, we having 3x. 12 times 2 give us 24. And let's reduce here. 12 divided by 2 give you 6. 6 times 7, we have negative 42. And on the left side, we have 9x minus 6. So I have 9x minus 6 equal, I'm going to combine like terms. So we have 3x, and then we have 24 minus 42, which will give us negative 18. Okay, so now we have nice equation with our fractions. Now I want to combine like terms. So x's, I'm moving to the left side. So we're going to subtract 3x. Always opposite. This is positive. So that's why we're subtracting 3x from both sides. And we have 9x minus 3x, which is 6x, minus 3, minus 6, equal, here that cancel, negative 18. Next, negative 6 has to be moved to the right side. Since it's negative, I'm adding 6 to both sides. This one cancel, and we end up with 6x equal negative 18 plus 6. That will give us negative 12. Okay, and the last step, just divide each by 6. And we end up with x equal negative 2. This is our solution. So this problem definitely was a little longer, only because we had that expression right here. Also, I just want to let you know that you could simplify that at the beginning to avoid have that extra bracket. You still will end up with the same solution. Okay, example C. In example C, this is a little different. This is also fractional equation, x minus 2 plus 3 equal 2 over x minus 2. What is different here? That your fraction, the denominator of the fraction has an x. Don't worry about it, you still follow the same steps, okay? So first what you need to do, you have to find LCM, lowest common multiple, of the expression which you see in the denominator. I'm going to put that in parentheses, of x minus 2. Since only one expression, so lowest common multiple is just going to be x minus 2. So again, LCM is x minus 2. Okay, that's it. We only have one expression, so again, that's our lowest common multiple. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by lowest common multiple times, and in parentheses, I copy the original left side, which is x over x minus 2 plus 3 equal LCM, which is x minus 2 times original right side of the equation, which is 2 over x minus 2. Again, I like to put the parenthesis when you have expression as a denominator because it's easier when we simplify and canceling. Okay, so again, this is LCM, lowest common multiple. So the idea is to change this equation to equivalent equation which doesn't have fractions. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to distribute. Okay, so x minus 2 times x over x minus 2. So you think this expression, x minus 2, is like a whole number. So you only multiply numerator by x minus 2, and you copy the denominator. So think about if that will be 4 times x over x minus 2. Again, you only multiply numerator, okay? Plus x minus 2 times 3 equal, and on the right side, I'm going to distribute x minus 2 times 2 over x minus 2. So we only multiply numerator by x minus 2. So we have x minus 2 times numerator of the fraction and everything over the same denominator. Now it's time to simplify. So look what happened. This expression is this expression, they are exactly the same. So you definitely can cancel them, and we only end up with x. Plus, here you will need to distribute. You have x minus 2 times 3, which is exactly the same as 3 times x minus 2. Maybe you prefer to see the whole number in front. So I'm going to distribute 3 to both. So we're having 3x minus 6 equal x minus 2 cancel, so we only end up with 2. Now it's time to combining like terms, so we have x plus 3x, that will give you 4x minus 6 equal 2. It's time to move negative 6 to the right side. Since you see negative, that means we need to add opposite of negative 6, which is positive 6, to both sides. Okay, that will give you 4x equal to plus 6, which is 8. And to get x by itself, just divide both sides by 4, by the coefficient in front of x. And we're having x equal to. So you guys had nice 3 examples of how to solve linear equations with fractions. And now I'm going to give you a couple examples how to solve linear equation which have decimals, which technically will follow the same steps. So let's continue. Next, we're going to focus on solving linear equations containing decimals. Okay, so I'm just going to write a note for you because we follow the same steps. Okay, so you have to find the LCM of the equation. So you're going to do the same thing, find LCM of the equation, which has fraction. I'm sorry, not fraction, decimals. And solve equation then what you're going to do, distribute LCM to all terms and solve the equation by following the same steps as equations with fractions. So when you guys, again, another note, when you guys have decimals, okay, and you have to find, so this is just the example, and you have to find the LCM of, let's say, 0.2, 0.35, okay? So LCM, lowest common multiple of equations with decimals, it's always multiples of 10. So LCM always will be 1 and either 10, 100, 1000 or so on. And how are you going to know what is the LCM? Since this decimal has only one number after decimal point, and the second number has two numbers after decimal point, so that means my LCM will be 100 because here we have more numbers after decimal, so we're going to attach two zeros. Okay, so it's 100. Also, again, you guys can see that 0.2 is the same as 2 over 10. 0.35 is the same as 35 over 100. So LCM of 10 and 100, of course, will be 100. Okay, maybe you need to see it that way or just use the shortcut. Again, just put 1, and since the second decimal has two numbers after decimal point, that means we need to attach two zeros. Okay, so let's solve a couple equations. On PowerPoint, which you guys have on Canvas, they solve the first example, which is 0.8x minus 5 equals 7. And the PowerPoint give you all the steps how to solve it. So I'm going to solve it. I think 2 examples will be enough. So example 2, solving equations with decimals. Okay, let's do the first one. 0.06 x plus 0.02 equal 0.25 minus 1.5. So first what I need to do, I need to find the LCM of my decimals, okay? So find LCM of 0.06, 0.02, 0.25, and 1.5. And the same idea, the LCM will be 100 because this decimal has two numbers after decimal. Here we also have two numbers after decimal point. Here we also have two numbers after decimal point, and here we have one number after decimal point. So my LCM, it's always multiple of 10. So 1, since the highest amount of numbers after decimal point is 2, so I'm just going to attach two zeros. 100 is LCM. So next what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply both sides by 100. So we have 100 times, in parentheses I copy the left side of the equation, which is 0.06x plus 0.02 equal LCM, which is 100, times, in parentheses I copy 0.25x minus 1.5. Okay, next, distribution property. Multiply each by 100. Since we have decimal, so we all know that when you multiply decimal by 100, 100 has two zeros, so decimal point it's going to be moved two spaces to the right. So that will give you 6x plus 100 times 0.02, move your decimal space 2 units to the right, that will give you 2, equal 100 times 0.25, move your decimal 2 spaces to the right, so that will give you 25x, and 100 times negative 1.5, again after 5 you can attach zeros if you want to, and the same idea, we're moving decimal 2 spaces to the right, so that will give you 150. And now we're just solving. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move 25x to the left side. Since it's positive, so I'm going to subtract 25x. So we have 6x minus 25x. Okay, that will give us negative 19x plus 2 Here that cancel, we have negative 150. Next, positive 2 needs to be moved to the right side of the equation. So subtract 2 from both sides, and we end up with negative 19x equal negative 148, and just divide both sides by negative 19, and we're getting x equal negative divided by negative, it's positive, so we have 148 divided by 19, which is nothing nice. Oh, I'm sorry, I messed up here. See the mistake. Negative 150 minus 2 will give you negative 152. So 152, negative 152 divided by 19 will give us 8. X equal 8. So that's the solution. And let me just solve one more, and I think you guys should be fine with those equations. B, 0.25x plus 0.05 in parenthesis x plus 3 equal 2.85. Okay, so first we need to find the LCM, and with decimals it's easy. Here we have two numbers after decimal, two numbers after decimal, two numbers after decimal, so of course LCM will be 100. So we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by 100. 0.25x plus 0.05 parenthesis x plus 3, attach extra parenthesis, equal LCM, which is 100, times the right side of the equation, which is 2.85. So again, my multiplication, I really like to use the dot, because many times we're using x and I don't want to confuse anybody. Okay, let's distribute. So we have 100 times 0.25, that will give you 25x. Here what you can do, since we have multiplication, it will be actually faster if you multiply 100 by 0.05, that will give you 5, and just copy the parenthesis x plus 3. Okay. Okay, equal 100 times 2.85, 285. So let's simplify. We have 25x plus, let's distribute that 5 now. So we have 5x plus 15 equal 285. Let's simplify. 25x plus 5x will give us 30x plus 15 equal 285. Next, what we're going to do, we see positive 15. We need to move it to the right side. So let's subtract 15 from both sides. So that will give us 30x, it's equal to 285 minus 15, which is equal to 270. And now we divide both sides by 30. Okay, so x equal 0, 0 cancel, and you have 27 divided by 3, which is 9. And that's our solution. So that's it of section 10.3. I show you guys the examples of how to solve the equations with fractions and how to solve the equations with decimals by finding lowest common multiple. Okay, and I'm going to stop recording.